Imagine you are falling, not toward ground, toward a planet that has no ground at all. Below you stretches an ocean of deep, endless blue, no coastline, no horizon that means anything, no bottom your eyes can find no matter how far you strain into the haze. You are 4.5 billion kilometers from the sun, so far out that daylight here is 1,000 times weaker than the daylight you grew up under. It is dusk here, permanently, not the dusk of an evening that will end. The dusk of a world the sun forgot to finish. And somewhere in the next 60 seconds, every system keeping you alive is going to fail. Not all at once, but one after another, in an order so fast it will feel less like dying and more like being erased. Welcome to Weird Orbit. You are not coming back. Hold that thought because it matters more than you think. Nothing about this fall is going to happen the way your body expects it to. Not the gravity, not the wind, not the cold. Every single one of your survival instincts, built over hundreds of thousands of years on a gentle little planet called Earth, is about to be wrong, one at a time, in the worst possible order. From orbit, Neptune looks almost gentle, a smooth, saturated blue, deeper than any ocean on Earth, streaked with faint white bands of cloud drifting like brushstrokes across a canvas no human eye was ever meant to witness this close. When Voyager 2 sailed past it in 1989, the only spacecraft in human history to ever get this close, the engineers watching the images arrive actually felt something shift in the room. It didn't look like a gas giant, it looked like water. The instant your descent begins, your brain tries to process the scale of what you're falling into, and it simply cannot do it. Neptune is so vast that Earth could fit inside it nearly 58 times over. Not sit beside it, fit inside it, 58 Earths, stacked into the volume of one blue sphere hanging in the dark. You are not landing on a planet. You are falling into something closer to a star that never quite gathered enough mass to ignite. A body so enormous that the very word landing stops making sense. Here's the problem. There is no surface waiting for you. No rock, no ice sheet, no solid anything to brace for. Neptune is built almost entirely from hydrogen, helium, and methane, layered on top of each other in a gradient that never resolves into ground, never gives you a floor, never gives you an ending you can prepare for. You will fall and keep falling, and the only thing that will eventually stop you isn't a surface at all. It's pressure, and pressure does not stop you gently. Think about that for a second. On Earth, falling ends with an impact, sudden, violent, but at least it's a moment, a single point in time you brace against. On Neptune, there is no single moment. There is only more and more and more, closing in around you from every direction until falling and being crushed become the same word. You still have 50-some seconds left. It gets worse. From 30 seconds into your fall, you hit the wind, and this is where the fear stops being abstract and starts being physical. Neptune holds the fastest winds ever recorded anywhere in the solar system. Gusts measured near 2,100 kilometers per hour. That is faster than the speed of sound, faster than a fighter jet at full afterburner. And this wind does not gust and settle the way a storm on Earth does, building for an hour and dying by morning. It has been screaming across this planet, uninterrupted, for longer than human civilization has existed. Before the pyramids, before agriculture, before the first human ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what was out there, this wind was already blowing at speeds that would tear a commercial airliner apart on contact. And it has not stopped once, but it gets worse. Nobody fully understands why. Neptune sits so far from the sun that it receives almost no solar energy, barely enough, by every normal rule of weather, to power a gentle breeze, let alone a hurricane the size of a continent. Weather needs energy, storms need fuel, and Neptune, sitting in near total cosmic darkness, produces the most extreme storm systems ever observed with almost none of the fuel it should require. Something inside the planet itself is generating that violence, and 30-plus years after Voyager 2's flyby, scientists still cannot fully explain what. In 1989, Voyager 2 photographed a churning black storm the size of Earth itself, later named the Great Dark Spot. Scientists expected to track it for years, the way you track a hurricane on a weather map. Instead, when the Space Telescope looked again a few years later, it was simply gone, vanished. No trace, no slow fade. Just gone, only for a brand new dark vortex to appear somewhere else on the planet, as if Neptune's entire atmosphere is rearranging itself in ways we can observe but never predict, never model, never see coming. You are falling through a storm system more powerful than anything Earth has ever produced, on a planet that shouldn't have the energy to create it. And no one, not NASA, not any space agency on the planet you came from, can tell you why it's happening, or when it might change again, or what it might become by the time you reach the layer beneath it. You don't get a warning, you just get the wind. You'd assume the cold is what ends you. It should. Cloud top temperatures on Neptune plunge to around -218 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze the oxygen solid inside your lungs before you'd even register the pain of it. This is not a cold you shiver through. This is a cold that stops chemistry, stops the electrical signals in your nerves before they can finish telling your brain that something is wrong. But that's not even the worst part. You will never get the chance to freeze, because as your fall continues, the atmosphere doesn't thin out the way it would on Earth, the way every instinct in your body assumes air behaves. It thickens and keeps thickening until the gas around you stops behaving like gas at all, compressing into something closer to liquid, and then into something that isn't quite liquid either. Something with no name that means anything to a body built for the surface of Earth. Somewhere beneath the visible cloud layer, pressure builds to roughly 1,000,000 times what you feel standing on solid ground back home. Try to sit with that number for a second, because your brain will want to skip past it. 1,000,000 times Earth's atmospheric pressure, not 100, not 1,000, 1,000,000. Long before your body temperature has time to drop toward that lethal cold, your collapses inward, your lungs implode, and the structure of your body simply stops existing as a structure. Not injured, not broken, erased as a shape. And this is where things change completely. Deep inside Neptune, under pressure almost impossible for a human mind to picture, scientists believe something genuinely strange happens. Methane molecules, crushed past their breaking point, tear apart at the atomic level, and the carbon atoms locked inside them get squeezed into a new form entirely. Diamonds, not gemstones sitting quietly in rock, waiting to be mined and polished and placed in a display case. Storms of solid diamond, forming in total darkness and raining downward for thousands of kilometers through an ocean of superheated, electrically charged fluid. An ocean unlike anything that exists on the surface of any world you've ever stood on. A sky raining wealth beyond any number. This isn't speculation dressed up for a script. Physicists have recreated Neptune-like pressures in laboratories here on Earth, using diamond anvils and powerful lasers, and they have watched carbon transform into diamond dust in real time, under conditions built specifically to mimic what is happening inside that planet right now as you fall through it. But here's the problem. You will never see any of it, because long before you reach that layer, you will already have stopped being a person. Pressure will have fused whatever remains of your body into the same crushing chemistry surrounding it. No suit humans have ever built survives that depth. No hull, no material, not steel, not titanium, not anything forged in any factory on Earth was designed to hold its shape against a planet that is, in effect, actively trying to turn it into liquid metal. You are falling toward the most valuable rain in the solar system, and it will never once fall on you. It will simply become part of what you're falling into. Here is the detail that should frighten you more than the wind, more than the cold, more than the pressure. Neptune's gravity is almost identical to Earth's, just slightly stronger, which means your body, for the first several seconds of this fall, would feel almost completely normal. No crushing sensation of extra weight pinning you down. No obvious warning sign screaming that something is wrong. And even the space around Neptune carries its own quiet horror. Its largest moon, Triton, orbits backward, moving in the opposite direction to Neptune's own rotation. The only large moon in the entire solar system that does this. Every other major moon orbits with its planet, like a dance partner moving in step. Triton moves against the music entirely. The leading theory is chilling in its own right. Triton wasn't born here. It was captured, dragged in from the freezing outer edge of the solar system, ripped away from wherever it used to belong and trapped in a slow, doomed orbit that is, right now, pulling it closer to Neptune millimeter by millimeter, year after year, for millions of years running. It is a prisoner that has been falling in extreme slow motion since long before humans existed to notice. Billions of years from now, Triton will be torn apart by Neptune's gravity, becoming a ring, the same violent fate written into the orbit of anything caught too close to a planet this massive, a moon larger than Pluto, doomed to eventually be shredded into dust and ice, circling a planet forever. You are not just falling into a hostile atmosphere. You are falling into a system where even moons are not safe, where nothing that gets close to Neptune keeps the shape it arrived with, before you ever reach the crushing depths beneath the clouds. There's another danger moving through you that you can't see or feel. Neptune's magnetic field is tilted a bizarre 47 degrees off its rotational axis, unlike almost anything else discovered in the solar system, and it bombards anything nearby with radiation in patterns that shift constantly as the planet rotates. Voyager 2's instruments barely survived recording it during that single flyby in 1989. Here is the part that should unsettle you the most. Everything described so far, the winds, the pressure, the diamond rain, the radiation, is what scientists believe is happening, based on models, simulations, and a single flyby that lasted only hours, decades ago. We have never sent a probe into Neptune's atmosphere itself. We have never directly measured what happens below a certain depth, because nothing we've ever built could survive long enough to transmit the data back before being destroyed. By the time 60 seconds have passed, you are no longer falling. You are being absorbed, crushed by pressure beyond anything Earth engineering has ever withstood, battered by wind faster than sound itself, frozen, and then violently superheated as you cross into Neptune's deep interior, dissolved into an ocean that isn't water becoming pressure, becoming heat, becoming nothing recognizable as a body, a shape, or a person at all. There is no version of this scenario where you survive, not with a suit, not with a ship, not with any technology humanity currently possesses or is likely to possess for generations to come. Every safeguard we know how to build, pressure hulls, thermal shielding, radiation plating, exists because somewhere, something built it to survive a known limit. Neptune has no known limit. It simply keeps going, past every number we have a name for. We look at Neptune's blue from a screen, light years of distance flattened into a photograph, and it looks like an ocean we could dive into. It looks calm. It looks like something familiar, something we could understand if we just got close enough. But Neptune is a quiet, patient reminder, one of billions scattered across this galaxy alone, that beauty and habitability were never the same thing. That comfort, breathable air, survivable gravity, a stable place to stand. These are not guarantees written into the universe. They are a rare, fragile accident. Earth is the anomaly. Earth is the miracle balanced on a knife's edge of conditions so specific that almost nowhere else we've ever looked comes close to matching them. The universe was never built for us. We are the strange exception, a thin blue shell of a planet, warmed by exactly the right star at exactly the right distance, mistaking our own rarity for something normal. And out there, past the reach of anything we've built, worlds like Neptune sit in silence, beautiful from a distance and utterly, permanently unsurvivable up close. Not because they are evil, not because they are trying to kill you, because they were simply never asked to keep you alive in the first place. Thanks for watching.